I know my biggest fear. Do you want me to just start there?
Death.
No, of the 2020 Yankee season.
Oh, of the okay, let's see. The guys all end up joining a cult during the season and stop playing baseball.
That'd be great. Oh, and stop playing baseball? Like they all just leave?
Yep.
Okay, that's not my biggest. No.
Okay, then I'm lost.
This is going to sound very simple, and I'm sure a lot of people have the same fear. That Aaron Judge gets hurt from swinging again and misses like another month or 2 months. And then all the people that say he's injury prone, he's never going to be full season, he's too big to play baseball, really start to have some ammo, and my brain starts to think like, maybe like we don't lock this guy up. My biggest fear that I'd never voice. I'd never say that out loud. But there's a lot of injuries. You can do injury a lot of people, but that's the one where like half of me, like 10% of me is expecting it.
There's a 4 horsemen on the team of guys that if they get hurt, it's deeper than them just being hurt this season. One is Aaron Judge. Big dude, has a somewhat odd injury history forming, but it is an injury history, and he's a big dude playing baseball, and there's always a worry with that. He's one. Number 2, Giancarlo.
Yeah.
Another big dude with an injury history. The 2 seasons before last year and his final year in Miami, he played a $158 games and a $159, and he played hurt with the Yankees too. Last year was so freaky. He got hit by a Yankees minor league dude while he was rehabbing. Hey, if Giancarlo can put together a full year this year, that's 3 out of 4 for a guy that was supposed to have like a kind of crazy injury history, is what it is. 3, Gary Sanchez.
Yep, injury history.
Gary, you could defend the home runs with anyone who's played American League Baseball. The injuries are starting to become a thing, and this is Higgy's biggest year as a backup. I feel like I saw a tweet about Higgy. We'll get there. And my 4th one, Jim, you know who it is?
Garrett Cole.
Sevy. I think
okay, so Garrett Cole doesn't fit into the bucket where you said where if he gets injured and misses the year, it's more than just missing the 2020 season. It's now like
it's
a bigger thing. It's a thing, yes. But someone, I agree with all 4 of those. I mean, and so it's very easy to say those, and I think a lot of people say that's the biggest fear, and I don't think it's scary. I don't think we're scared to say biggest fear, right? So what I'm scared to say is that part of me is expecting Judge to miss a month. Like part of my brain's penciling it in, and that's what I'm scared to say out loud.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of something. It's that big body. I mean, hey, are we going to make some rush judgments on this new training staff? God, their first couple months are going to be dissected 100 times over. But yeah, it's a big man playing baseball, and I think the thing that's crazy, and maybe I'll start spinning things upwards, but I do like us getting the bat out of the way. But I mean, if Giancarlo or Judge play 145 games, like those guys should be MVP candidates. And, some people might question Giancarlo on that because he did play, I think it was 158 or 159 the year before, but he was hurt. If the Yankees had more depth, they would have put him on the IL. He couldn't run. They had to DH him every game. So if you get healthy seasons out of those 2 guys, they're monsters. And I think you and I, when we went to our first spring training together, what was it, 2 years ago, we went down there playing the game. Do you think Judge and Stanton are going to combine for, 100 home runs? And we had people flipping a coin on it. And you just forget that this game is so tough to be good and healthy. So, yeah, I think we're also brainwashing ourselves a little bit Because we know, dude, if we get a full season of Aaron Judge at this point, my word.
You know what I've never looked up? You know how I love the baseball savant, like hard hit, exit velocity?
Yeah.
I've never looked at Judges.
I could see you liking Judge and Stanton's.
Is this gonna like make me happy? It says I have looked at this, so maybe I lied.
I mean, their hard hit rate has to be beyond the bar.
Yeah, his exit velocity and hard hit rate is the 100th percentile. Both of them.
That's good. I say good.
Outs above average, 94th, 96th, 97th. Is the best at everything.
How's his speed? What's his speed percentile?
Sprint speed is 79th percentile.
Bum.
Old Judgy 5 strides. But his outfield jump is 40th. But like we've learned last year on this, you can have a really slow outfield jump and still be a tremendous outfielder. Like Mike Trout has the slowest outfield jump in MLB. He's one of the best center fielders.
Well, with him, it's weather first. So he's getting the wind. He's getting the barometric metrics, and then he catches the ball.
Okay.
Sports.
Right. That's fine. So Gary, if he misses a month, I'm like okay with it. I don't know. It's like it seems like he's a catcher. Grind is there. Maybe play him a little less, but that's not devastating to me. If it's bigger than a month, then it is. But I'm kind of penciling that in. And I'm fine with it in a way, in a weird way.
Yeah, two 2-week injuries would be a really good year for Gary. And we had a fun conversation at winter meetings with not the Yankees analytics crew. We don't know.
Wasn't them. No, wasn't them.
We have no idea who they were, but they were very nice guys at the bar that had Yankee logos on their wallets. We ended up playing a fun game of how many catchers played. What was it? 120 games, 115 games.
Yeah.
And I think it was only 6 guys. So the catcher position is brutal. If Gary could put 130 together, I feel like we could shut up a lot of people on the internet for a little while. But yeah, if Gary Sanchez misses 1 month, whether it's 1 month as a whole or whether it's, a couple weeks divvied up, you kind of have to expect that a little bit.
So it was, okay, here it is. It was games played or games started. No, it was only 3 catchers in 2019 played over 120 games as a catcher.
It's pretty wild.
Only 3. So like that's where you have to really limit your expectations on catchers. And I mean, anyone that's listened to Talking Yanks forever knows that this is kind of a spiel I go on a lot. Like grade Gary as a catcher and compare him to catchers because a lot of times people want to compare him to outfielders and DHs. Whatever. Wilson Ramos, JT Realmuto, and Yasmani Grandal, all National League catchers. Christian Vasquez played 119 games for Boston. Man, yeah. So
cool.
If you go to games started, there's only 2 catchers that started over 120 games: Realmuto and Grandal. Shit's nuts. Anyway. All right, so injuries are a big one. The one tweet I saw was that Cole gets injured like a season-ending injury like immediately, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm out. I can't read that."
Yeah, that's off limits. That's
don't fucking cool. Say. I mean, I know we're saying things that we'd never say. Like you bring that to me, and it's the Will Ferrell scene in Old School where he's like, "It was the trust tree." I thought it's like, no, dude, that one's not cool.
No, there's a trust tree, and then there's you fucked up. Like, get out of it.
Don't say it. Just don't say that, you know?
Yeah, that's not something you even say. Like, this is supposed to be amongst friends. Like, maybe you're on your second bucket of Millers, and you're just like, hey, I think Talkin could get MVP votes. And you're like, all right. Like, that's nice.
Well, give me your biggest fear. Do you have one? Because mine is I think Judge misses a month. I'd never admit it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the injury stuff is tough and it gets tricky, like you said. I don't know. I guess it would be like Groundhog's Day. Not to get too emotional and tie it in, but like I don't know. Like if we just
not to get too emotional about Groundhog's Day.
Well,
don't do that. Just don't do that again, Jake.
Well, no, you'll see why, Jim. This is heavy. This is like in The Replacements when Shane says quicksand. You know, he's not talking about actual quicksand. I'm not actually talking about Groundhog's Day. I'm talking about
injuries repeating themselves.
If it's October and we're just swinging through shit again, and it kind of feels like useless. Like we're running back a lot of the same stuff. And there's just that fear factor that it's like, well, we swing and miss a lot, and it just didn't happen again. But hopefully, we know one less team is cheating, 1.5 less teams. So I don't know. I mean, that was like a heavy fear.
That they don't change their approach, sliders away, still's the poisoned pill?
Like it's just it's rinse and repeat a little bit.
Okay. What's the thing you don't want to put out there because you know it's too cocky?
Oh, well, we'll get there. I'll bring it back to earth a little bit, and I saw someone with this in the comments. My general one is DJ LeMahieu's 2020. I feel like he had such a good year, and maybe Juice Ball helped him a little bit with the power. I mean, he's obviously got the contact tool, but he also hit 331 last year, and it's tough to replicate that kind of season. Like picture if DJ LeMahieu, let me make sure I got the right number, Jim. Oh, Jorge Posada's player page. Look at that. You never know what you're going to get on this computer sometimes. LeMahieu hit 327 last year. Like he could drop his batting average 30 points and he's hitting 297, which, hey, that's still really nice, but it's not what he did last year. And that's just a fear for me.
But that's still not that bad, though. Like, he could still have a really good year and not be what he did last year.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I think all we know is the DJ LeMahieu from last year. And we could still get a really good 295 DJ LeMahieu. And I just feel like people would be disappointed and it won't feel the same.
Oh, okay. Well, my biggest cocky is that DJ does the same shit.
And I like that. And I hear you.
Like I that's what I think. So like, it's not just like a fear. Like, you know, I don't see what's to change. The dude, it's not like the down and away sliders are just going to work. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they found a hole, they never found a hole all season. Dude grinds at bats. His last at bat of the year was his best. I just think he likes the pressure. He lives for the big games and he thrives off just like that. Like I think he has more pressure on him going into this year than he did last year. And I think he likes that.
Yeah,
because he knows fuckers like you are saying he can't do that again, and he's like, "That's what I'm here for."
Whoa! I never said anything. We're in a fucking trust tree.
He's here. He snuck in.
What does that even mean? He's here.
He's in the trust tree. He heard you.
He's here.
He heard you say that.
That was bizarre. Yeah, you're shattering rules. And no, you're right. I mean, especially Coors effect. Which is a thing. If you don't know, look it up. Yeah, I mean, it would just be pretty incredible if we snag DJ LeMahieu from the Rockies and he's yeah, now he hits 330 and he's an MVP candidate every year. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I think he likes the pressure of doing that. I think he's going to thrive off it again.